First, Quando Rondo drops a song right after Lil Durk's arrest talking forgiveness. Next, fans saw Quando confronting Durk without fear via Instagram. So why did Quando wait until Durk was in cuffs to make his point clear? Quando Rondo Confronts Lil Durk. You must be living under a rock if you didn't know that Quando Rondo's big-time enemy has just been arrested. For some time now, these guys have been like two sides of the same coin, but always at each other's throats, both making rap music yet still beefing each other. But before we get into all of that, let's see what Quando has got to say to Lil Durk right after his arrest. Lil Durk might be 6 years older than Quando. Forget the LL in his name, but Quando, who once called him Big Bruh, has proven that he sure has got some fire. Following Durk's recent arrest, Quando dropped a new tune titled Life Goes On. In the song, he raps about his dead homie and how much he misses him while adding that he wishes he didn't die by the gun. He raps, life goes on. It's been a couple of years you lost a homie, then I know how you feel. Feel like the rain coming down, I drop tears. This for real, Mop, for once, don't you think that it isn't? This homie happens to be none other than his cousin, Lil Pab. With this move, it showed that the rapper is not so bothered about what has hit his rival, rather he remembers what their beef might have cost him. At the same time, an alleged message exchange between Durk and Quando has resurfaced on the internet. It takes fans back to the year when Quando allegedly confronted Durk on their beef. All he wanted to do was squash it. In the alleged confrontation, as seen on X, Quando complains about not doing shows, wanting to talk, and not looking like a loser online. Quando goes, "We need to talk cuz this shit going too far. I can't even do shows, I got to feed my peoples." Durk replies with "Stay safe." Giving it another try, Quando writes, "Come on, cuz you know me, I ain't fearing shit, but we could dead this shit for social media." Durk goes, "Do a show, you good folks 100%. Without giving up, Quando adds, "I don't believe that, big bro, what you on? What you call me?" Durk goes on to repeat his first reply. Like I said, Q stay safe. However, a rather persistent Quando keeps at it with his messages by saying, "F it then. I'm ready for whatever. We can talk out or it's whatever cause I want it dead. Just hear me out for 5 mins on the phone cuz, come on, I can't look online." Eventually, Durk signs off with another warning that reads, "Stop messaging me goofy." Yet a confrontational Quando refuses to give up. He replies, "Cause what the f is you on? Fuck big bruh, hit my phone or let me call you. I'm not on no internet shit, I won't record it. Just wanna talk cause, come on." This was not the first time the internet would be introduced to a back and forth between these two. On one occasion, when Durk spoke to DJ Academics about his dead friend King Von, and later about Quando, here was what the rapper said.
I mean, when a real gangster get took out by like a nerd type.
Well, no, I think he feel like his career, Quando's career, has been affected because
Quando's a little boy.
Once Rondo caught wind of this interview, he put out a confrontational tweet, seemingly mocking Durk's comment on King Von's death being planned by a nerd. He wrote, "The nerds got 7 of them last year, Whatever this meant, the feds are now assuming that Lil Durk is responsible for planning the murder of the homie Quando, rapped about in his new single. And there seems to be overwhelming proof. Remember when we talked about Durk's recent arrest, which happened on October 24th in Broward County, Florida? Well, here's the juice to the story. Durk had planned to leave town earlier on the day he was arrested in Broward County, where he's being held without bail. However, he did not book one flight. Rather, the rapper allegedly booked 3 flights to Italy, Switzerland, and Dubai. Sources say that this was in an attempt to confuse the law enforcement officers. Durk's actual plan was to fly in his private jet, thereby evading arrest. The rapper must have grown suspicious of the feds' move on him. Before being taken in cuffs by the U.S. Marshals, about 4 other men belonging to his Only the Family aka OTF crew had been arrested. This crew was formed by Lil Durk back in 2010. Investigations revealed that together they planned to take out Quando Rondo in 2022. The alleged members of OTF offered money and music opportunities in exchange for the murder of Georgia-based rapper Quando Rondo. In retaliation for his suspected involvement in the killing of King Von, prosecutors indicted all 5 of them in a U.S. district court for the 2022 shooting, which was aimed at Quando, but it took the life of his cousin, Lil Pab. According to the indictment unraveled in a Los Angeles court on Thursday, these men, namely Caven London Grant, known as Vonnie, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, known as Didi, Keith Jones, known as Flacca, David Brian Lindsay, known as Brown Eyes, and Asa Houston, known as Boogie, face charges of conspiracy to commit murder for hire. Charges levied against them include conspiracy to commit murder for hire, committing murder for hire resulting in death, as well as the use of, carry, and discharge of firearms and a machine gun in the furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death. Prosecutors say that these men used a credit card associated with the OTF to buy plane tickets, which they used to fly to California on August 18, 2022. They intended to keep a close watch on Quando, which they did. While being involved in the plan, Lil Durk warned his associate via iCloud message to avoid booking flights using any payment that can be linked to him. Following their trip, they gathered that their target had lodged in a hotel in Los Angeles. Eventually, Grant, known as Vonnie, flew in from Miami in a private jet, as his role was to supervise the operation. For the smooth running, Grant booked the other men into the Universal City Hotel, where he supplied them with firearms. In the indictment, Grant allegedly rented a white Infiniti and a white BMW sedan. In court papers, these suspects expelled resources and spent about 2 days trying to kill their target, which was Quando Rondo. Pictures from the indictment showed the culprits closely tailing Lil Durk's black Escalade and finally firing at it. As mentioned earlier, Lil Durk thought he would succeed in booking flights to 3 countries, Dubai, Italy, and Switzerland. However, the feds were more than prepared. Allegedly, they had wires and taps on him. Through these means, they have asserted that Lil Durk was indeed aware that he might be caught and made deliberate plans to evade arrest. Though unconfirmed, it is believed that via the wires, the cops obtained proof of Durk making threats to kill those who might try to testify against him. However, court documents now reveal that Durk had an unsuspecting police informant in his crew all along. In fact, this was a man he called brother, a man he believed was on his side, so much so that he even rapped about him. On several occasions, the pair were spotted together, and they also made videos together.
Tell me what's going on, Jam.
Hey, you know what's so crazy though? Whatever it is I want to do, I can do it.
Just
Buy what I want, do what I want. Y'all can't do that, bro. Goof ass.
Bro got out what?
You know that
Haven't you did all?
Ironically, Lil Durk also rapped about helping him get back on his feet on his Loyal Bros album. This informant, now known as the Snitch in street terms, has been identified as OTF Jam. Jam collected about $50,000 from Lil Durk and went on to speak highly of their friendship and how Lil Durk showed up for him steady. In an interview, he once said,
In my whole time in jail, that stayed, bro. Like, before the money, you know what I'm saying? That was bro. Like, I remember when the money wasn't there, so I'm gonna say you 50, I'm like, I got you, man. Gave my lawyer money there, when I'm fighting my case. I ain't gonna lie, Durk come through. All that, like, Durk come through.
Jam, who was released from prison in 2022 following a 12-year sentence, was immediately accepted by only the family group. But it is believed that he might have struck a deal with the feds, as he allegedly wore a wire throughout his dealings with the OTF. Details from the court documents prove that Jam was in contact with the feds, and somehow they knew the order of things in the camp. As seen in the indictment, co-conspirator 1 is Lil Durk, while co-conspirator 2 is Jam. Durk gave the order to kill while placing a bounty on the victim, and upon completion of the assignment, it often came with compensation, including music deals and other rewards. Before attempting to end Quando's life, Lil Durk had suffered a loss from his camp. Back in 2020, King Von, who vibes with the OTF crew, was gunned down outside of a club in Atlanta. Much later, it was determined that Lul Tim, one of Quando's affiliates, was responsible. Now authorities say that Durk wanted to play the revenge game, so he opted to hire some men to kill Quando. While this isn't a brand new trend in the hood, it has left many to wonder what truly inspired the hatred between Quando and Lil Durk, that they would not mind seeing each other or their affiliates dead. For someone like Durk, he even went as far as masterminding the killing. To fully understand this, let's surf through the origin of Quando Rondo and Lil Durk's beef. The beef between Quando Rondo and Lil Durk goes back several years. Interestingly, the feud didn't start with these two rappers. While it's nearly impossible to pinpoint when exactly Quando Rondo and Lil Durk began feuding, the origin of their beef can be traced to the tragic death of rapper King Von in November 2020, which was the offshoot of a deadly rap rivalry. The feud began as a battle for supremacy within the Chicago rap scene, with both rappers clearly running in different circles. At the time, King Von was signed to Lil Durk's record label Only the Family, while Quando Rondo was signed with NBA Youngboy's record label Never Broke Again. Earlier that year, rumors of a possible rift between both factions began circulating on social media, but things eventually exploded out of hand when King Von posted pictures showing him hanging out with Youngboy's then ex-girlfriend, Janya. Although Von insisted that there was nothing to the picture, explaining that they were only making music together, the pictures still stirred some drama between Von and Youngboy, with Quando Rondo regularly jumping to the defense of his label boss. With social media buzzing with rumors and a lot of hearsays, King Von eventually moved to set the record straight during an interview with DJ Academics on November 5th, 2020. While talking about his beef with Youngboy, Von said,
Nah, hell nah, ain't no rap beef. What? Ain't no rap beef, and it ain't no real beef unless somebody got shot or something. Or
Unfortunately, it took barely 24 hours for King Von's words to come back and haunt him. At around 2:15 a.m. on November 6, 2020, Von and his crew were involved in an altercation with Quando Rondo's crew outside of the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, Georgia. The dispute quickly escalated into a gunfight, with law enforcement officers also getting drawn into the intense shootout. 6 people were shot during the incident, with 3 of them eventually dying from their wounds. Von sustained gunshot wounds and initially fled from the scene, but arrived at the hospital shortly after the confrontation in critical condition. Despite efforts to save his life, Von succumbed to his injuries later that day. Following the tragic incident, the police arrested one of Quando Rondo's crew members for the death of King Von. The suspect was later identified as Timothy Lil Leaks, who was 22 years old at the time of the shooting. Nearly 2 years later, murder charges were dropped against Leaks under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law. The decision was in line with statements made by Quando's camp, which claimed that Von was the aggressor on the night of the fatal shooting and had attacked Rondo unprovoked. Footage obtained from outside the club seemingly corroborated their claims, as it captures Von throwing punches at Rondo's crew. According to sources close to Rondo, the rapper didn't know what was going on and believed his life was in danger. Although Quando Rondo and his crew members were cleared of any wrongdoing in the fatal shootout, he has continued to receive a lot of heat from King Von's fans and friends over the rapper's demise. In a rare moment during an April 16th episode of the No Jumper podcast, Quando Rondo talked about King Von's death, opening up about the hate he is still receiving from the slain rapper's fans years after his death. Quando Rondo revealed,
"But our fans are not going to be the same, so I feel like everybody who against me because of a past situation, I don't give a about them, because they ain't never been my fan from the get-go."
When asked to provide more details about the night, Rondo responds,
"I don't even want to talk about that shit, but bro, man, listen, boy, hey, when God call your ass home, you got to go, brother. Long story short, I don't even want to talk about that shit."
But it wasn't only King Von's fans that had issues with Quando Rondo. Although Rondo never had any problems with Lil Durk in the past, the circumstances surrounding Von's death brought Rondo within Durk's crosshairs. And Rondo's unapologetic demeanor towards Von's death has only fueled the ongoing feud between him and rapper Lil Durk. Apart from his dismissive tone whenever the tragic shooting is mentioned in interviews, Rondo consistently raised eyebrows with his vocal support for Leaks, who has been fingered as Von's killer. Just a few months after the shooting, Rondo took to his Instagram stories to celebrate his friendship with Leak by getting matching iced out watches. The rapper showed off the luxury pieces on his Instagram stories with a catchy caption that read, "Me and my twin." A week before that, Quando Rondo courted the fury of King Von's fans when he dissed the dead rapper during a virtual concert. At some point during the show, Rondo could be heard rapping, "He got caught without that pole, and now that gone, I'll piss on his grave." Over the years, Rondo has also taken every opportunity to reveal his disliking for King Von's former label boss, Lil Durk. One of those moments came during a 2023 interview with Dirty Glove Bastard, where he made it clear that he wasn't feeling Lil Durk. Quando Rondo said,
"We blessed, we angels, but on God, I ain't trying to die for Durk. I'm not. I'ma keep it real."
Moments later, Rondo talked about how he would not miss the chance to die for his fellow brother, Lil Tim, who sat beside him during the interview. He said,
"I'd die for this man, though. Like, if I knew that I'd lay my life down and die for this man, slit throat, right now, on God, because I know he'll do the same for me. He almost did. I take that to heart."
In the aftermath of King Von's death, Lil Durk and Quando Rondo continued to trade jibes on social media, much to the delight of their respective fans. However, their feud took a shocking new turn on August 19, 2022. On that fateful day, Quando Rondo and his cousin Lul Pob were at a gas station when 3 men arrived in a white vehicle and opened fire on them. Lieutenant John Radke of the Los Angeles Police Department initially claimed they had no clues about the motives of the shooters since both men were simply pumping gas. Lil was immediately rushed to the hospital, but was later pronounced dead from his injuries. It was initially believed that Rondo had suffered gunshot wounds during the shooting, but his fans' fears were quickly quelled when the rapper's representatives issued a statement to address the shooting. The statement read, "Quando was present during a shooting yesterday evening, which resulted in the untimely death of another young man's life. He himself didn't sustain any injuries during the shooting and is safe. We ask that his privacy is respected at this time." 2 days after the shooting, Rondo also shared a touching tribute on his Instagram account with a picture of Lil Pab. While all this was going on, footage capturing the aftermath of the shooting and Quando Rondo's emotional reaction had gone viral on social media. As everyone struggled to grapple with the tragedy that had just unfolded before their very eyes, Lil Durk sampling Quando Rondo crying "No" when he lost his cousin. In the song, Lil Durk raps, "Your homie died, you jumped in front of that fire, think you're a lifesaver. Y'all laughed when bro died, when your bro died, you turned to a crybaby." Back when Quando Rondo confirmed that he lost his cousin, he let out a loud "No" in the background, mourning his loss. But Lil Durk wasn't done just yet with his diss. In another track, Lil Durk seemingly confesses to ordering the hit on Quando Rondo and again mocks the rapper for crying after his cousin was shot. Durk goes, "Told me they got an addy. Go. Got location, goo. Green light, goo. Look on the news and see your son. You screaming no, no." From here, there was no more hiding their beef as other rappers boldly called out each other on social media and during interviews. Back in March 2023, both rappers had a heated social media exchange, which was triggered by their clashing album release dates. The whole drama began when Rondo took to Instagram to tease a March release date for his album titled 1633, which was a special tribute to his late cousin, Lil Pab. Rondo wrote, "One more month I put my heart in this album. Seen a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I lost my right-hand man in front of my eyes. I love you, thug. I'm going #1 for you, big brah." Shortly after, Lil Durk issues a strongly worded message on his Instagram stories in which he brazenly attempts to downplay Rondo's relevance in the rap scene. He wrote, "I can drop this single and fuck up the streets on God, your release date ain't safe, son." Rondo certainly took Lil Durk's words personally and fired back with an Instagram story of his own that read, "Drop that shit, we all on a time schedule." Things seemed to quiet down for a while, but the two were back at it again 2 months later, following Lil Durk's May 2023 appearance on DJ Academics Off the Record podcast. During the sit-down, Lil Durk opened up about King Von's fatal shooting, claiming that it changed everybody's lives irreparably. While referring to Von's alleged killer, Leaks, Durk said,
Yeah, that's everybody else. Like when a real gangster, you know what I mean? When a real gangster get took out by like a nerd type.
He then went on to comment on how he views Quando.
Because
Quando's a little boy.
Not one to shy away from a fight, Quando Rondo weighed in with an equally disrespectful message once he caught wind of Durk's interview. This time, Rondo chose to deliver the message through his Twitter account, where he wrote, "The nerds got 7 of them last year." Quando Rondo's message hinted that a lot of blood had been spilled over this feud, and many feared that more lives were still going to be lost with the two main figures still intent on continuing the bloody rivalry. However, Quando Rondo's recent conversion to Islam seems to have paved the way for a new chapter for the controversial rapper, and has seen him remarkably take a step back from his feud with Lil Durk. But while fans know where things currently stand with Quando Rondo, the jury is still out on Lil Durk, who is now sitting in jail after getting implicated in the murder for hire case. So what's next for the embattled rapper? What will happen to Lil Durk? So far, Lil Durk is being charged with a federal crime of murder for hire. According to the law of the land, such a crime has different penalties attached based on the facts of the case and the eventual ruling. For this particular case, which involved the death of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pab, if found guilty, Lil Durk could be sentenced to life in prison or given the death penalty. Whatever the case, Lil Durk's arrest may have brought an unexpected end to what was becoming an increasingly dangerous rivalry. Away from the rivalry, the arrest serves as a crushing blow for a rapper who was so much loved by those around him that he was only recently honored by Cook County, Illinois, with 2 keys to the city for his work in the community with his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. On October 18, 2024, the Grammy Award-winning rapper was awarded multiple keys to the city, including the village of Broadview and the village of Bellwood.
We are honored to present this key to the city, to Dirtbags Neighborhood Heroes. This key is a token of our appreciation for your collaboration and partnership on today's day.
The high-coveted award added to the long list of accolades that the rapper has received in recent years. His foundation's mission is to empower and collaborate with everyday heroes who are taking the lead to make positive change in the lives of those within under-resourced neighborhoods across the nation. As clips from the award ceremony found its way online, social media quickly became engulfed in a heated debate as internet users clashed over the morality of giving such a prestigious award to someone who promotes violence and gang culture through his music. One fan wrote, "Ain't nah, they gon' keep giving these rappers keys to the city, then end up taking them back." Another user said, "Thus the current state of the community in Chicagoland. If this who they champion, then they can no longer complain about the streets and the hood that goes down on the block. Pathetic." Barely a week after he was given the keys to the city, Lil Durk was arrested by United States Marshals in Broward County, Florida. Just as some fans had predicted, Lil Durk had the key to the city awarded to him revoked bare 24 hours after his arrest. On Friday, October 25th, Broadview Mayor Katrina Thompson rescinded the honorary legendary key that officials of the Chicago Village presented to Lil Durk during the October 18th ceremony. In addition to withdrawing the key, Broadview officials also terminated their existing partnership with Durk's nonprofit organization, the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation, and dissociated themselves entirely from the rapper entirely. While the American system of justice grants everyone the presumption of innocence until proven guilty in a court of law, in the village of Broadview, the court of public opinion of residents has even higher moral and ethical standards of behavior, Mayor Thompson said in a statement. Thompson went on to emphasize that the community demanded uncompromising standards from all its public partners before announcing the award had been revoked. For now, Durk still has the key from the village of Bellwood, where he was recognized for his philanthropic works around the city. However, many people believe that it's only a matter of time before this is also revoked. But while Broadview Mayor chose to take a hardline approach to Lil Durk's current situation, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson chose a more cautious and sympathetic approach. While addressing the matter during a recent press conference, Mayor Johnson displayed an innocent until proven guilty mentality, refusing to condemn Lil Durk despite his arrest. Johnson said,
Lil Durk's mission to build financial literacy for children across the city and making other critical investments for the children of the city is where his heart, has been.
During the press conference, Johnson was also asked if he would be returning a hefty $150,000 donation made by Lil Durk to his campaign. However, Johnson noted that he had no immediate plans of returning the funds. He said,
Question. You're asking me a question about someone who has worked to transform his life, who has admitted that he is on a journey to transformation and has not been charged with anything.
Mayor Johnson and Lil Durk are known to share quite a close relationship, and so his empathetic tone towards the rapper's plight doesn't come as a surprise to many. The rapper met with Johnson twice during the summer of 2023 before contributing $150,000 to Johnson's political committee. The contribution was the second largest campaign contribution, only outdone by the contributions made by the construction trade unions. Lil Durk would certainly have been comforted by Johnson's words, but that was quickly outdone by a lone fan who appeared outside the federal Los Angeles courthouse, protesting for Lil Durk's release. The fan was also carrying a placard that read, "Free Durk Banks." As expected, the picture caused quite a stir on social media as a lot of other fans had pretty divisive reactions to the picture. While some threw their weight behind the protesting fan, others had a more critical outlook on the case as a whole and of fans' support for Durk. Celebrities and fellow rappers were not also left out, as they also took to various social media platforms to give different reactions to the Lil Durk situation. For example, Joe Budden weighed in on the situation during a new episode of his podcast, revealing that he finds the whole thing extremely unfortunate. Budden explained, "I'm just tired of seeing young, black, successful people get the opportunity and lose it like that because of where we came from and the things we've endured and experienced." He went on to compare Lil Durk to Chief Keef, highlighting how both Chicago rappers now have very different career paths. Budden drew similarities between both rappers' backgrounds while praising Chief Keef for being able to navigate his circumstances the right way and staying out of trouble. Unfortunately, Lil Durk couldn't toe the same line and now finds himself at the brink of a death penalty. The only good news here for Durk is that it's all just allegations at this point with no trial yet. If you enjoyed this video and would love to see more of such content and stay ahead in trendy news, click on the card showing on the screen.